Hi, and welcome to Bella's Guide to 2D Animation. Here I will teach you how to do 2D animation using the program FlipaClip. Now before we start, I want to put a little disclaimer. I just want to say that I am not a professional and what I'm about to cover is based off of my experience, and there is different ways that, animation is done, but we'll be doing it the way that I do it. So here we go. So the first thing that you want to do when you want to learn 2D animation is you want to learn the 12 principles of animation. These are very important principles that will help your animation be a little bit more lifelike. I'm not going to go too in depth about the principles in this video, but there's a video called The 12 Principles of Animation by Alan Becker, which I will link in the description because it is a very good and informative video and you should give it a watch. But I will briefly go over what the 12 principles are, and they are squash and stretch, anticipation, staging, straight ahead action and pose to pose, follow through and overlapping action, slow in and slow out, arc, secondary action, timing, exaggeration, solid drawing, and appeal. The second step is choosing your method of animation. In this video, we'll be doing 2D animation, but there are also other forms of animation like 3D, paper animation, stop motion, and clay animation. After you figure out what kind of animation you want to do, now you have to choose a program. Since we're focusing on 2D animation, we'll be choosing a 2D program. There are many different programs out there and you just gotta find the right program for you. There are some programs that are on mobile devices and there's some on the computer. Some examples of animation programs on the computer off the top of my head is Clip Studio, Krita, OpenTunes, Adobe Animate, Fire Alpaca, and Wick Editor. Some examples on, the mobile is FlipaClip, Animation Desk, Procreate, but for this video, I'll be choosing FlipaClip. Now that you got your program, now you can start animating. But where to start? Well, if you're doing a simple project, you can go straight in and start animating. But if you have a more complicated one, I suggest storyboarding. But what even is storyboarding? Well, storyboarding is when you plan out your animation or even a film. Here's an example of a storyboard that I did, and here is the final animation to compare to that. After you've planned out your animation, then you are ready to start animating. Normally, you start out with a rough animation, and it doesn't have to be pretty as long as you understand what it is. You can animate straight ahead action or pose to pose. It depends on your method or what way you're comfortable with. Next part is the line art or cleanup. Basically, you go back over your rough animation and you make it look pretty. After you're done with that, you start adding color. And then you add shading and lighting. Basically, this helps, make the animation feel a little bit more real. This step really isn't that necessary just because, sometimes shading and lighting does take a really long time. So it's based off of what you want to do. Here is an example of me going through all these steps that I just went over. After you completed the animation step, now it's time to edit. This is when you add your backgrounds, special effects, sound effects, music, all that good stuff. Once your editing is complete and you're satisfied with how it looks, now your animation is done. So you export it. And that is my guide to 2D animation. Thanks for watching.